Welcome to the Nexus. In this video, we're going to talk about epithelium. Right, so the level of organization in animals or in any organism begins with a cell. Then the cells will combine to form a tissue, and the tissue will form an organ, and a lot of organs will combine to form organ system, and then the organism. Right, so epithelium is one of the four main important tissues in animals, right? So we have connective tissue, epithelial tissue, muscle tissue, and nervous tissue. So what is epithelium? Epithelium is a membranous cellular tissue that covers a free surface or lines a tube or cavity of an animal body and serve especially to enclose and protect other parts of the body, to produce secretions and excretions, and to function in assimilation. A lot of functions. Let's review the main important ones. Right, so these include covering of external surfaces, lining of internal surfaces, protection, absorption, secretion, sensation, and contraction. There are two kinds of epithelium: covering and lining epithelium and glandular epithelium. The covering and lining epithelium will cover the outer surface of the body and lines the internal surface of the body. Right, so here is an example. This is peritoneum. You know, peritoneum in the abdominal cavity is actually divided into two: parietal peritoneum, which lines the wall of the abdominal cavity, and the visceral, which is intimately close to the organs, right, to the peritoneal organs. Right, so if we zoom here, we'll see that this peritoneum is actually an epithelium, right? So that's the covering epithelium. Glandular epithelium is specifically for glands, right? So it contains specialized cells for secretion. Here is an example of a simple branched acin gland, right? We'll talk about type of glands later, but this is just an example of what's to come. Right, characteristics of epithelium. Right, here you can see epithelium. Here you can see the cytoplasm, the nucleus, the basement membrane, and the connective tissue here. Right, so the basal lamina anchors the epithelium to the underlying connective tissue, as you can see here. Right, this is the connective tissue. Basal lamina, right, where the hell is it? It's actually part of the basement membrane, as you are going to see in basement membrane video. The epithelial cells are very cohesive due to intercellular junctions, right? So between these cells, they are connected via cellular junctions. Epithelial cells vary a lot in shape and size, right? They are different shapes, like flat cells, columnar cells, cuboidal cells, etc. Epithelial tissues are avascular, right? So how do they get nutrients and everything they need to grow? That is your question. Please write it down in the comment section. I really want active learners, not passive ones, right? So tell me, how do they survive since they are avascular? Epithelial cells demonstrate polarity, right? So we'll talk more about this later, but you should know that not everything just cross this epithelium, right? It's about charge. There are specific molecules which can cross and some which cannot, right? So that's polarity for you. We'll talk about that in channel proteins. Right, so here is just an outline of epithelial. Right, so there are two kinds actually. If we talk about the number of cells, simple is one line and stratified two or more lines. Right, so in simple epithelium we have simple. This one is specifically actually a one line again, and the pseudo stratified. it looks like one line, but you know, some of the cells don't reach the outer surface. I will show you the I will show you the pictures in the next slide, right? So simple can be simple squamous, this will be flat. Simple cuboidal will be cuboidal in shape, and simple columnar. Then stratified, the first one is keratinized, it is keratin and squamous. And then stratified non-keratinized can be squamous, cuboidal, columnar. And last one is transitional. Transitional is special, it changes shape. For example, think about the urinary blood. You know, when it start to fill with the urine, this transitional epithelium will allow it to stretch. Wow, this is cool, right? So this is what I was just trying to say. Simple squamous, you see, this is squamous, it's flat and it's one line. Simple cuboidal, it's one line and the cells are cuboidal. And simple columnar, one line and the cells are columnar. This one is stratified squamous because there's a lot of lines, right? And they are flat. Stratified cuboidal, and this one is actually pseudo stratified. You can see all cells are attached to the basement membrane, but not all of them reaches the apical surface, right? Okay, so just to conclude the structure of epithelium, we have a separate video on this, right? We have a separate video on basement membrane, connections between cells, that's cell junctions, and specialized apical structures, right? So this is just an introduction. If you like this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe. Cheers.